we have another head-to-head battle. This time it is the Instant Pot and the air fryer, and they are going. Oh wait, Sylvia said, where did you get that apron? I wish I knew. I have had this for years. I actually bought this for my best friend Melanie. Her father-in-law passed away, and I bought this to go over and be the hostess for all the plethora of food. Talk about a situation. All the plethora of food. And yes, Debbie, I have tried that. Debbie wants to know if I've tried a bowl of apple cider vinegar for the fruit flies. I have. Yeah, great. And Sarah says I'm frozen. I am hoping not, because that was so irritating last week when that did that. Okay, and Loretta is in love with our kitchen cupboards. And Loretta, if you live in our area, I also sell cabinets now too. So cabinets, handles, the pulls, countertops. Yeah, I just sell it all now. Okay, so the second half of tonight's chat, we are talking about another head-to-head battle. It's the air fryer versus the Instant Pot again. You all have heard me say it over the last few weeks. We have, and Cynthia, I'll try that too. We are starting to get some gangly looking tomatoes, but they've not given up yet. So my garden downtown with my neighbor Coco, her name's Nicole, but the kids all call her Coco. So the garden that Coco and I are sharing has not given up yet on the tomatoes. It has certainly not given up yet on the cucumbers. Really, the cucumbers have almost become a weed this year. I just don't know how we're getting so many. Just so many. We've got no zucchini, no yellow squash. All the eggplant were gone, like dead, gone. Bugs had eaten them. I don't know what happened to them, but all of those were gone before they even had a chance. We have harvested a sum total of 6 jalapeno peppers, 0 bell peppers. Anyway, so I love, and my mom loved, she called them end of season tomatoes. So when the tomatoes would start to look a little funky, you know, like they just looked kind of sad before you even got them picked off of the vine, that was one of my mom's favorite times, because then she could just start just making stuff, because they didn't have to look pretty, you know, because what she was going to turn them into, like she wasn't slicing them to put on a sandwich, she wasn't chopping them up to put them in, you know, to put them in a salad or anything like that. It was okay if they started out looking ugly or sad or gangly or whatever you want to call them, because they were just going to get turned into something else. So tonight is going to be Instant Pot versus air fryer, and these are end of season tomatoes. And thank you so much, Sylvia. Thank you. Sylvia just gave 100 stars. Thank you very much, Sylvia. We will be mentioning you next week, and if anybody else wants to give any stars towards my 5,000 star goal to again pay for all of this that I bought to be able to test these things for you all, but that would be fantastic. And you can give stars during the live chat now here on Facebook, and also again later after it's posted. So thank you, Sylvia. I do sincerely appreciate that so much. But so we're going head to head, Instant Pot versus air fryer. I already know how the air fryer ones turn out. Normally I do those with a bigger sliced tomato. I made them the same size tomato as we're going to do in the Instant Pot, just for comparison. The Instant Pot, I finally picked something that's going to cook so fast in the Instant Pot that did you notice? Did anybody notice I did not have to start it at the beginning of the chat, because it's going to be so fast. If I don't quit talking, it won't be, but it's going to be so fast that it's going to cook while we're talking. Okay, so I did also put the Instant Pot across the room, only just so that I had a little bit more room over here. So we're going to start with the insert for the Instant Pot, and you can use a 3-quart, 5-quart, or a 6-quart. Pretty sure I've got a 5-quart because my little inside here ends at 5. Then I'm going to take and add to that, I'm going to add some gangly looking tomatoes. And if you don't know what gangly looking tomatoes are, like, see how it's just kind of spotted, you know, it's not a pretty tomato anymore. This one, because this is just a grape tomato, and because it's a little bit bigger than a cherry tomato, I'm just going to cut it into a couple of pieces, set it in the bottom. The ones that are smaller like this, I'm just going to go ahead and set them in. Oh, I'm going to cut the end off of that one. Okay. Oh, here's another big one. Let me cut that up a little bit. So remember, we're not going for a beauty contest with this. We're just going for, we can eat it, we can go ahead, you know, and I think that's what we're making, Loretta, is blister tomatoes. So here are some more round ones. Ooh, and Sylvia says she made the tomatoes but in the oven. I mean, like, see how ugly that little one is? They're just ugly, but we still love them. Here's some more little ones. These actually came, these little teeny tiny ones here, these came off of the, we've got a little plant out front that Alyssa and I planted that make little, it grows little heart-shaped tomatoes. We're gonna throw those in there. Here's a couple more big grape tomatoes. We're gonna cut those in half. And remember, if the spots are too, if the gangly looking is too gangly, just get rid of it. Okay, got a couple more to put in here, and here's a couple more. Just gonna put those in their hole. Okay, so there are the last of the gangly tomatoes that we picked this week. Okay, to that, I'm gonna just spritz them with a little bit of olive oil. Okay. Then to that, I'm a cheater. I use squeezed garlic. So the garlic, though, you want to put on top. Put it on the top of a couple of the tomatoes because you don't want it to get on the bottom or you might get a burn warning. And I will tell you, I got the burn warning earlier making something else. That is a horrific noise I will never do again. Has anybody else gotten the burn warning from on their Instant Pot? That was like, felt like the entire, I don't know, felt like the whole fire department was coming. It's not burning, like it's not on fire, but that was a noise that I never care to hear again. Okay, I'm just adding some Italian seasonings on here, just have a little oregano. This is what we happen to have in the showroom, oregano, rosemary, and basil. I need to find my Dax spices that I had packed away for the move here so we can use those. And to that, I'm gonna add about 3 or 4 tablespoons of water, and before Debbie passes out, she's probably made this before, but before she passes out, that is enough water to make these. That is enough water to make these because supposedly, allegedly, when they burst, they're gonna produce enough water that it's not going to burn, okay? And again, don't ever want one of those burn warnings again. So I put all of that inside of the insert, the stainless steel insert. If you're worried about a burn warning, apparently you can put them inside of another container and then put that down in there. Haven't tried that yet. This is the head-to-head Instant Pot versus air fryer on the end of season tomatoes. I'm going to put these. Okay, now I got this from somebody else. So fingers crossed this is going to work. So we're going to put this whole insert into the Instant Pot. We're going to put the lid on there, and remember, we're going to line this up. Okay, and that do-do-do-do tells me that it's correct. Make sure that it is on seal and not on vent. We're going to, we're going to press pressure cook, custom. I'm going to do it on high for 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. We don't need it to keep warm. And I'm going to hit start. Okay, so when that gets done, yeah, Debbie says the tomatoes will produce water too. So she is a pro. She's an Instant Pot genius. So she already knew that before I even said it. Yeah, but okay. So in the Instant Pot, it was the tomatoes. It can be grape tomatoes. It can be little tomatoes. It can be tomatoes. It can be cherry tomatoes. Whatever you want. In the Instant Pot, I did go ahead and put mine directly in the insert, spritz them with a little bit of olive oil, add a couple of tablespoons of water because the tomatoes are going to make their own water too. Put them in, put the insert into the Instant Pot. Woo. Put that into the Instant Pot, put it on high. Yep, you're a pro, Debbie. Listen, you're like 27 levels above me. You're a pro, okay? You're going to put it on high. You're going to pressure cook on high, sealed. Okay, pressure cook on high for 2 minutes, and then after the 2 minutes, we're going to do a quick release. So I said that was going to be done before we got done. Hopefully I'm right, because I forgot to calculate how long it would take it to come to pressure. I don't know. Okay, now I'm going to show you I already did the air fryer version because I've got that one down pat. I'm going to show you those in just a second, but first I'm going to show you what I made to go with this. So this is what caused the burn warning, okay? I looked at, it's Jackie and what is their name? Debbie, you're the one that told me to look them up. Jackie and, oh man, it's called pressurecooking.com. So I went there to get some ideas on how to do the tomatoes, what to add to them, add water, don't add water, put them in a pot, don't put them in a pot, whatever. And they had two methods. Method number one, they said could set off the burn warning on your Instant Pot. Method number two, Amy and Jackie, that's it. Thank you, Debbie. Could set it off. Method number two might not. Okay, well, I decided to do a method that would probably not set it off, but I did not decide to do that making this. So I also made today, because I'm going to use this with the tomatoes, and then I'm going to freeze them, I made polenta. So polenta, for those of you who do not know, is the Italian version of grits. So I am from the South. We eat grits down here, y'all, okay? Not everybody. Like Casey cannot stand them. I love them. And until I was an adult, I made grits and I added sugar. When I made grits, I added sugar and butter. Butter and sugar, sugar and butter. Like lots of it. You know, you don't get this way from eating, you know, cucumbers out of the garden all day. But grits are the Southern girls' version of polenta. I need to know, does anybody north of, let's say, Kentucky, does anybody north of Kentucky or west of, let me pick something, west of Memphis, because I don't really consider Memphis to be part of Tennessee. Does anybody west of Memphis or anybody north of Kentucky eat grits? Just curious. Show of hands. Anybody. I love them. Now that I'm an adult, I do not put butter and sugar in my grits. Okay, Vicky loves grits. Okay, so tell me this. If you're going to shout out about the grits, please also tell us where you're from, like what state you're from, so that we at least can put some, you know, perspective on what part of the country you're in and if you like grits. I would still consider Texas part of the South, Liz. Liz says Texas, yes. And Mary Ann says, oh, nope, it was a heart. Ooh, Carol's in Pittsburgh and says, yep, loves grits. And Debbie does butter. Debbie's in Florida. I already know that. She does butter, no sugar. And Lynn says Texas is yes. Vicky says love grits, Georgia. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, Vicky. That totally makes sense. Okay, so I was going to do grits tonight. And then I thought, I'll wait. And it's been a long time since I've had polenta. Let's see, hold on. Sylvia says Oklahoma. She hates them, but her husband loves them. Oh, but she's Hispanic. Okay, yeah, so that makes sense. And Mary says from Pittsburgh, never had them, but others in Pittsburgh do. And Vicky said grits with butter and black pepper. Sounds fantastic. Now that I'm an adult, I will eat them however they come. But I decided to go, and Barbara says no, and she's from New York. And Carol Lou says butter and cheese, please. Okay, we're going to be close with the polenta tonight, Carol Lou. So instead of grits, I decided to go ahead and do polenta. I will say, I've never made polenta in the Instant Pot. I have now. Ooh, Corrine says no, and she's from the Canadian prairies. And Sandra's never had them in Pennsylvania, and Melvie says yes, in Mississippi. But I had never made a polenta, and normally I normally buy it already in a tube and then just slice it when I have it, but I wanted to actually make some in the Instant Pot. I will say, hold on a second, Sherry says, love me some Florida grits, butter, salt, and pepper with a little cheese. Yep, and the other Barbara has never had them. You've got to come try them, okay? So I got polenta this time, didn't buy it in a tube, didn't slice it because I wanted to see how it would cook up in the Instant Pot. It was ridiculously easy to make, except I did get the burn warning. So I'll be working on that, and I will not be posting a video about how to make polenta in the Instant Pot until I try it a way that does not set off the burn warning. I'm telling you, every light on that Instant Pot was going off all at the same time, screaming at me. You couldn't figure out which button to push. I had to unplug it. I could not make it stop until I unplugged it. Okay, so the Instant Pot polenta from Amy and Jackie. Again, I did not choose method 2. I chose method 1. Method 1 said that it could set off, that if you're, and yes, shrimp with grits is great. Debbie, jalapeno grits, Vicky, fantastic. Method 1 said that it could could set off the burn warning. It did. Okay, I will not be making them that way again. So method 1, you put a teaspoon of salt, 4.5 cups of water or chicken stock or something like that in the Instant Pot. Add 1 cup of polenta, coarse ground polenta, and I got Bob's Red Mill just because I like Bob's. He's a great guy. I've never met him, but you know, it's all organic, all that kind of stuff. So I got that, did that, and then you, it says not to stir it. So I didn't stir it, and then you pressure cook on high for 10 minutes. I made it to like 8, and then that's when all you know what broke loose. Beep, 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 beep. So I unplugged it and didn't vent it, and I let it sit for the 15 minutes. So you were supposed to high pressure for 10, natural release for 15. I got the alarm, so I just unplugged it. Okay, see, that's ready. And now it's gonna cook for 2 minutes, okay? So we really will make before the end to try these. But yeah, burn warning, unplugged it, and let it sit for about 10 or 15 more minutes, and then I did a quick release there at the end, and they still turned out great. So if you've never had polenta, if you don't know much about it, it seriously is the Italian version of grits, and we're going to use this when our tomatoes come out. But I did want to show you, I made enough that I have some to put in the freezer. So I made enough polenta that I have these 3, which are already firm, these to go in the freezer. So again, if you've never purchased polenta in a tube, it firms up like this. So after you cook it and after you let it cool off, and once I freeze these, I'll pop them out and show them to you. But look, so that I need to freeze them because I won't be able to eat it fast enough to stay good. But I'm just saying, if you're looking for something that you can save and eat later, polenta makes these. This isn't frozen. This has literally just been sitting here firming up. It gets that firm. That's why when you buy it in a tube, you can slice it. So those will be going into the freezer. These, however, so those were the half cup. That's the half cup super cubes, and then these are the 2 cup super cubes. But I did about a half a cup of polenta in the bottom, and then what we're making, there's enough. It's going to go on top with some other stuff, go in the freezer so that I can add some eggs or some tofu or something on a day when I need to. Oh, Barbara says she has what I just made in a restaurant. Awesome. Yeah, so that I can have that for a meal here in the showroom another time, because it's good with ham, it's good with chicken, it's good with tofu, it's good with all that. Okay, so it's done. Now we're going to do a quick release. And I have pulled this out a little bit so that steam, I pulled it out a little bit from our cabinets so that steam will not go up into the bottom of our brand new cabinets here in the showroom. So we're going to let those slow release while those quick release. While those are quick releasing, let me show you the air fryer ones. So the air fryer end of season tomatoes, you can do, if they're full-size tomatoes, and no, polenta's not bad with points either, and it's delicious. And you can mix a little butter in with it if you want to. You can mix in a little after you cook it. You can mix in a little heavy cream if you wanted to. Sometimes I do fat-free half and half just to make it a little bit creamier. If I don't want to add butter, you could certainly mix like cream cheese or something like that with it. It makes a great breakfast, lunch, dinner, anytime snack. So the air fryer version of the end of season tomatoes, you can slice them. Like if you've got bigger tomatoes, you can just slice them and you can line the bottom of your air fryer basket. So if your air fryer basket is like this, or if you have an air fryer oven, like if you've got one of the bigger ones, just make sure that it's going to be in something that cleanup is going to be semi-easy. Since these were going to be mostly whole tomatoes, I went ahead and put them in this insert that came with my air fryer. You can get these. They don't have to come with your air fryer. So polenta. So sorry. Okay. So Sylvia asked a great question. She says, "Is it cornmeal? Polenta here?" Okay. So do you have something to write with? Because I'm going to give you all the ingredients for polenta. While I'm waiting on y'all to get something to write with, I'm going to tell you that a 1/4 cup is a serving. It's 140 calories, no fat, no saturated fat, no trans fat. Sodium is 0 unless you add sodium to it. 1 gram of fiber, no sugar, no added sugar, 3 grams of protein. So as far as a carb goes, it's pretty, it's pretty darn good for you. Does have, let's see, hold on. So the carbohydrates are 32. Okay, so for everybody that went to get a pen, polenta, the ingredients are corn. It's corn. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Sylvia. It is ground corn. Yeah. So I bet you would like it. I bet you would like this very much. Okay, so for the air fryer tomatoes, if I'm doing bigger tomatoes and slicing them, ooh, and Anna says, or Anna, whatever one it is, says my Italian grandmother used to make a smooth, creamy polenta with just tomato sauce on top. That's kind of sort of what we're doing today. So thanks, Anna's grandma. So the air fryer one though, if you do the sliced, you can do them in the oven on 300 for an hour. So you would slice the tomatoes, put them on a parchment lined cookie sheet, spray them with a little bit of olive oil, do some seasonings, maybe do some Bragg nutritional yeast, something like that, and it's 300 for an hour. In the air fryer, I do them on 260 for about 30-ish minutes, only because the air fryer, because the heat is going all the way around it, they cook at a much faster speed, and at 300 that they explode. So you don't want exploding tomatoes. Okay, this is how the air fryer version turned out. So this is cheating because I already know how these turn out. So let me get a wee baby one of these and try it. Okay, so here, and we're gonna try one of those here in just a second. Got 10 minutes left. We're doing great. So here is what one of the air fryer ones tastes like. And again, in the air fryer, I did the same thing, a little bit of spritz with some olive oil, did a little bit of seasoning. I did not have any nutritional, well, I didn't add any nutritional yeast because I wasn't putting it in the Instant Pot, and I wanted this to be head to head. So this is the same things that I put in the Instant Pot version, went in this version, in the air fryer. Sweet. As sweet as they can be. Okay. So that's the air fryer version. Then we are going to grab a towel because I do not want to put that hot Instant Pot on my brand new quartz countertops. Okay, we're going to do, so we just did a quick release. A little button has popped up. Yep, this is good to open. Okay, they look like they have exploded. So I heard somebody call them burst tomatoes. What did you all call them? Split tomatoes? I can't remember what you all called them. Okay, I'm gonna hold this up as best as I can, but I don't wanna spill them. Okay, maybe I should just take some out. Let me get one of these out. Okay, so these smell heavenly. They are burst. I really feel like I should. Ooh, Barbara says in New York have a lot of barbecue Portuguese and they have a plethora of what? What am I going to get here to show these to you? I think I will strain them just a little bit so that you all can see what they look like without burning myself. So they look more like stewed tomatoes. Does that make sense? So the Instant Pot version looks more like stewed tomatoes. They smell fantastic. Let me go ahead and find a small one of these to try. So again, that was it was only 2 minutes. So the Instant Pot one definitely was faster to cook. So that's one check mark I can finally give to the Instant Pot. And honestly, I don't think you can cook polenta in the air fryer. So that's another check mark for the Instant Pot. Let's see if this is too hot to eat. I don't want to burn myself in front of you all. Has anybody else made them this way? What do you all do with them? They said you could use an immersion blender and go ahead and like make like a tomato sauce or like a tomato puree. Too hot? Also good. No, I like it. It's different. It's very different from the air fryer version. I'm gonna say I'm not sure I don't know. That's very different. It's just a different taste. It's not, you know, like everything else I've said. Oh yeah, you know, the air fryer wins by a landslide because of, you know, A, B, and C. This is really good. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and use, because these are fresh and hot, I'm gonna go ahead and add some of the Instant Pot version. I'm gonna add these to my polenta, and then to that, I'm gonna add, does anybody know what these are? And if you say mini mushrooms, not mini mushrooms, if you say mini marshmallows, I'm gonna hurt you. Does anybody know what this is that I'm putting on here? Uh-oh, and Debbie and Carol Lou are going head to head on an air fryer versus Instant Pot. Yes, they are mozzarella bits. You are correct. You are correct, Cynthia. They looked like tiny little marshmallows when I got them out. So these are pearls. If you've not ever seen mozzarella pearls, they're the teeny tiny kind. Oh, I still have 5 minutes to bore you all with information. So these are mozzarella pearls, and I thought they would be the perfect size for this. So let me try a little bit of this with polenta, which sent off the burn feature in the Instant Pot, just kidding, and some Instant Pot, I guess these are called burst tomatoes, and a little bit of mozzarella. Let's see how this is. This should be a really homey kind of an Italian dish. And since Alyssa calls me Nona, we will stick with that. Ugh, fruit flies. Okay. That is very good. So Instant Pot polenta, pretty sure you can't make polenta in the air fryer. Instant Pot burst tomatoes, I guess, and a little bit of mozzarella. Absolutely delicious. I'm gonna say it's a tie. So I don't know, they're just very different. The air fryer tomatoes, I think these would be really good maybe on some bruschetta, or, you know, something like that, maybe in a baked potato, you know, something, a little pizza. These would be really good on pizza. This, the Instant Pot version, because they're a little bit wetter, this is, oh yeah, Debbie said that would be great on spaghetti squash instead of polenta. It really would be. I'm gonna say that the Instant Pot one probably is gonna fare better on the polenta, but we're gonna freeze some of this and see how that works out. So I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope you will try this. I hope you will make some. I hope you will not set off the burn function on your Instant Pot if you try the polenta. Once I've got that nailed down and figured that out, I will for sure post a video showing how to make polenta without setting off your burn warning. But I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope that you will go ahead, if you're watching this on YouTube, I hope you'll let that next video go ahead and roll over, and pretty please hit this little button down here to subscribe. If you're here with us on Facebook, thank you again as always. Thank you so much, Sylvia, for sending stars. Everybody else, you can send stars now, or you can send them as soon as we are done. I will still get them and I will still see them, but I want to thank you all very much. I'm going to eat the rest of my polenta, tomatoes, burst tomatoes, and mozzarella, and I will see you next week. Have a great week. Good night, everybody.